Hello and welcome to The Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Msaka Voa. Today on the program, we are heading to the showgrounds, where we'll be talking to Mrs. Muya, an entrepreneur who has ventured into horticulture. Come with me. Calling in from Zenis.
Okay.
Kindly share the directions of where you are located. Is that Inutu?
Yes, this is Inutu.
Okay, thank you. Kindly share the directions.
So we are inside the showground. When you come down, you pass the roundabout for livestock. So there's another roundabout inside, a smaller one. That
Okay.
is right where we are.
Okay.
Just right opposite the roundabout.
Okay. We are on the way. We will let you know when we reach.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We are finally here at the showgrounds, and seated next to me is Inutu Muya, an entrepreneur who has ventured into horticulture. Inutu is going to share with us more about her business and her experiences. Inutu, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Kindly share with us about yourself. Who is Inutu? Where did she go at school? So that we just understand where you're coming from.
My name is Inutu Siyanga. I am a gardener, of course, by choice. And professionally, I have a background of accounting, and currently I work as a physiotherapist at University Teaching Hospital. I am married with 3 children. Yes, so gardening basically is something that has come up as a result of a passion that I've had from growing up. So I come from a family of 6, and my mother, my late mom, inculcated these values where we had to garden, we had to grow our own vegetables, we had to she actually would advise and tell us continuously that you are not buying vegetables from the shops. You have to grow your own. So I think this all stems from there. Basically that.
From what you have explained, they say charity begins at home. So other than that, did you learn this from school?
I haven't had any schooling regarding plants particularly, no. It's purely, I think, from interest. And the interest was maybe fostered out of grief when I lost my mom in 2021. I couldn't keep myself inside the house just to avoid the sober moment, because I think I was a bit too overwhelmed with the issue. So I would be outside and planting, trying to cut plants and trying to learn how maybe one plant grows, how it grows. If I cut it, how long does it take? So that took a good 6 months to a year. So I would actually leave my house to get outside as early as 7 hours. Bath, dress up, and get into the garden and get back in the house at 19. I would skip breakfast, I would skip lunch, and I would only be reminded to say, you haven't eaten, maybe around 15, 16. But at that point, I would say, is it possible I can just have a drink or so? I was battling with depression at that point. So I couldn't sit without shedding tears, sometimes screaming a bit. So from then rose my interest in growing plants, and by the end of 6 months into a year, I had too many plants. I didn't know what to do with them. So too many, over 1,000 plants.
After growing all those plants at your home, when did you now venture into gardening as a business?
As a business, I actually started when the plants were too many. The few people that cared about me and would visit frequently were asking me, where are you taking all these plants? There are too many. There are too many. And yes, there were too many. Why don't you sell? Give me one of them. So I would actually pick and give some to those that wanted. But then after I think I sold 10 plus, out of being pressed to sell, then I said, okay, this can work as a good business. Since I have so many, what will I do with them? Obviously, I might need some for landscaping here, there, at my own space. But I said, I can actually venture into this and make it a business. So that is where we started from.
What is the name of this business and what inspired the naming of the business?
My business name, Tutu, is a shortcut that my friends call me. I think from playing game and whatever games we would play in the compound as when we were growing up, they would call me Tutu instead of Inutu. So I thought, why not use Tutu? It's easy for people to attach that to me. And we came up with the name Tutu Lifestyle Garden. Obviously with the approvals from Pakra and all.
When you are starting a business, usually there are people who influence that business. Who are the mentors for you in this business?
Actually, yes, I have had mentors, because I actually realize in any field you choose to go into, it's not possible to just walk through and find placement in it. So I was assisted by the likes of, I call her Auntie Belita. She stays in the farms just around Charleston, there after Charleston, Obama in front there. Auntie Belita, I think, inspired me through a friend that would frequently come home and saw what I was doing, and then she says, can we go together so that you go and see? The dream you're talking about is probably just next door. I'm sure you learn something from there. So I went there. I think she possessed a dream of mine where I have this farm landscape with the palm of trees lining up. I actually saw my dream there. She actually inspired me. And once in a while, I'll actually call her to get information and just for assistance. But generally, we have a lot, the gardening field has a lot of people under-recognized, but they have really all played a huge role, because every time you walk into someone's garden yard, you find something new, you find a new plant, you ask a few questions here there, and you find that you actually get to pick something from there. So generally, the gardening family has helped, and also my big sister, her name is Edna from Mainwood, and Natasha, and Aunt Belita, together with the gardening team, of course.
When some people buy a plant, it dies within a week of having that plant. Is there a secret to growing amazing plants?
One thing I have actually come to know is with plants, if you don't like plants, you can't keep plants alive. So it stems from just when you get a plant, it needs nurturing, and a lot of nurturing. Most of all, patience. So there are times you get this plant, and sometimes you want to see the result of growth in a month or two, and for it to look like an internet picture, that is not possible in a short space of time. So you actually need to read a lot, read on that particular plant. So I actually tell the people that visit me, I'll tell them the name of the plant. Sometimes I'll actually put stickers on the flower pots so they know the name of the plant, read about it. Then we also give advice, plant related, so that you know when to water it, you know when to give manure to it. In short, it needs to be loved. Love it, nurture it, give it what it wants, and you actually see that it will love you back if you give it love. Yes.
So we have seen a variety of plants here. Are there any that you specifically focus on? Is it just ornamental plants, that kind of in-house or decorative?
I have two classes of plants. Indoor plants, which mostly I referred to as ornamental plants. And I have outdoor plants. On outdoor plants, we actually have a variety. That's where the common palms, I know people know the palm trees, the common palms, the actual trees. Then we have agaves, so cactuses as well. So on that end, we have a variety outdoor plants. So I have those. Then we have indoor plants. Indoor plants, I think, are my favorite. Rather, I think my soft spot in the garden. I love them. I actually love keeping them close to me. So if you walk into my yard or my space, I think all the indoor plants are just around me, because I have to check on them constantly. So in the morning, I'll actually go out and see if there's anything that the plant needs. Is it yellowing? Is it lacking? Does it need aeration? Does it need to be watered? So I'll take note of everything, because I obviously have more than 1,000 of those around my home also. So my favorite plants, not just the plants, my favorite plants. I have, on the indoor parts, I have anthuriums. I love anthuriums because they flower throughout the year. However, they need indirect sunlight, not direct, because they get scorched. Indoor plants, meaning they need a good amount of shade, but they also need light for them to go through the process of photosynthesis and actually bring out the lush and the flowers that you need. So anthuriums are my favorite, one of my favorites. If I actually would bring up some on board, philodendrons. This is a family with of plants that have the big leaves. Most of them are big leafy plants, yes. So those I love, love, love. And diffambatas. I once had, I think, a favorite that I've pushed a bit away because they tend to sleep when it's cold and they wake up when it's getting warm. So they hibernate. The alocaceas. They're very, very good family of plants. But because they sleep, I think I have taken them off the list of favorites. I still love them. Like right now they are awake, they are up and giving me smiles.
Okay.
Indeed.
I've seen that there are a variety of plants here. Are there particular plants that you focus on? Is it just indoor plants, outdoor plants, or edible plants?
Yes. So on the outdoor part, I have a collection of fruits. So we have mostly we have citrus fruits. So lime, lemon, nuts or naches, and kumquats. We also bring in mangoes. So those are some of the plants that we actually propagate or grow from the farm. Together with the outdoor, of course, the palms and the trees, because they obviously require a lot of space. Yes.
The government has been encouraging entrepreneurship as a way of creating employment. Have you created employment for some of the youths in the country?
When I started, I only had one gardener that would help me around the yard with just maintaining the space. But as plants started becoming a bit more, I had to engage the next one. When I thought of taking my plants to the farm and obviously stirring up growth, I had to put in 3 more, like on the immediate, because I think I was on rapid. Yes, so I had to put in 3 more. Currently, there are 8. I have added 1 more at the farm, so there are 4. And since I opened the shop right here inside showgrounds, I needed 2 salespeople. So they are the ones that assist me with running around or selling my plants in my absence if I'm out there busy trying to supervise other works. So in total there are 8.
We now go on a short break. Stay tuned.
This is Jack Zulu, the entrepreneur in herbs. You are watching Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. In case you've just joined us, we are talking to Inutu Muya, an entrepreneur who has ventured into horticulture. Inutu, back to our interview. How are you thriving in your business with a lot of competitors around? How are you thriving? How are you keeping above the waters?
I would say yes, sustainable, looking at the fact that we are managing the 8 so far for the past 3 years. It is. But then it actually requires, like I said earlier, a lot of patience. You need to, obviously with every business you have to plan. So I encountered a bit of, where you think you have a lot of plans and you run out because obviously business is doing well and you are thinking, what next? So I had to engage if planning to a higher level. So now I started outsourcing, where I would buy plants from South Africa, order online from Indonesia, Thailand. So now I had to go around various ministries trying to find out how to do the paperwork, put my papers in place. Since we are a registered garden, put all the papers in with the council, with ZRA, and so far, so good. We are managing as entrepreneurs. The economy is hard currently for everyone, but then we are pushing. We are trying our level best.
Other than having this one-stop shop, have you diversified into other income-generating activities?
Okay, so this is a selling point. We have actually grown from where we started. At first, I only had indoor plants, mostly. They were indoor plants. Then demand came, each time clients come, they would ask for things you can't supply. And most of it, in fact, half of it was outdoor plants. Then I was not into outdoor plants. So I started looking and growing outdoor plants. So I would actually buy seeds, I would actually buy seedlings and try to mass plant. So that was part of diversification. And with time, I noticed people were actually requesting for soil. So they would actually come and say, "Oh, plants are looking the same January to December. What are you doing to your plants? We need the soil." And at that point, I think I wasn't even thinking I would sell soil, where I'm like, how do I venture into? But it was, with business, you don't just tend to stick to what it is. If it's related, slowly, if you can, incorporate it. So I started stocking up the grass, the leaves at the farm in a pit, and would actually make compost. But not just compost, I said. I don't use compost only myself. That compost, I add a few things to it. So why don't I work out my soil exactly how I do it, but with mass production, so I can give the people, and let's see if I'll get feedback. So I started from there, and the feedback has been overwhelming. So another route we decided to go to was flower pots. So when people come, they'll find plants, some in polythene bags. Actually, people have been thinking, because we put our plants, most of our plants are potted, but then they have an impression to say maybe they are costly because of the packaging. So we would actually answer, say, no, it's not about packaging in pots, it's presentation to the public. That's our concern. So for the same price, whether you find it in a polythene bag or in a flower pot, the price is the same. So when we started putting our plants in slightly bigger pots, bigger and attractive, ready to lift, at that point, we now tied the amount of the pot to the plant. So we started selling pots because they would want the plant repackaged. And at that point, we also introduced what we call clinic day. So people that have plants that are struggling. So you buy a plant from us today, and 2 or 3 months later, it's not looking as lush and as beautiful as it was when you picked it. So we'll tell you to say, can you bring it back? We feed it, we put it into new pots, we dress it up, and give it to you and give you further instructions. Others would actually say, can I leave it for a week for it to settle? So we do all that. They're in line with diversification. We are hoping to hit the next level soon. Indeed.
Okay, so now let's talk about the challenges that you have undergone in your business from the time you started. Kindly share with us the challenges that you have faced in your business.
Challenges, yes, there are actually plenty. So when you're starting a small business, I think it's really important to plan. I had a challenge with treating plants when they got infected. So there I had to do a lot of reading. I would actually have a plant. I'm not sure, you know, where you read, you buy the chemicals, spray, and you don't really attain the satisfaction that is needed. So there it was a challenge, but with a lot of literature, of course, I overcame that. And setting up where to put the plenty plants I had grown, that was a challenge. It's been a challenge, but we have overcome that too. I think those are the major ones.
So how has your business impacted positively to the environment?
Mostly from my interaction with the clients that I have and that I see personally, and I've actually trained my people to engage in it also. I tell them with developmental projects that a lot of people are carrying out now, you'll find they are interested in the interior, where they put the nicest of things inside after building a house, after putting up this farmhouse, or just a house in a residential area. What about the outside? So now that is where we're saying, can we go green together? So we come in to advise on landscape, and we don't miss out advising our clients to put up trees, because we know we need these things. So we'll obviously do our mapping in terms of landscape to accommodate trees and plants, depending on the environment, what needs most sun, what doesn't need most sun, so that you have an all-together whole complete project at the end of the day. So if homes are actually putting up these plants and trees in place, at the end of the day, it will be a green environment that we hope to achieve, and we will achieve it together.
With the advancement of technology nowadays, most people are using technology. How are you using technology in your business?
Technology is something that we have actually embraced as a business, because in this time and era, without technology, it's, I think, difficult to sell. It's difficult to get ahead. So we have, first of all, on a simpler note, we have inculcated a bit of knowledge on how to use the point of sale, for instance, with all our staff, how to communicate fairly with clients through the phone. So there, I think we're very particular, because we are advertising products, and we are responding to clients regarding the products themselves. So there, I think we have gadgets in place that the garden uses to that effect. Then, stemming from my background as an accountant, I use it a lot when I have to do the financials at the end of the month, when I'm paying people, if I have to do my tax returns, and basically to just do stock take for the place. The plants have become too many, indeed. And then also social media. So there we have a page we call it True to Lifestyle Garden by its name. So we have a page on Facebook. We are also found on Instagram. We are yet to accommodate TikTok, because I think we need to be on each platform technologically for us to get our intended client and message out there. Yes.
How do you engage your clients in this business of yours? Do you have a WhatsApp group where you keep tabs on the clients that you have?
The WhatsApp group is under formation, because obviously a lot of people have been asking. But then what we have is a directory where we put numbers of every client that has interacted with us, and they're not skeptical about sharing their number with us. So we give them our business card, so we are in touch with them. But we were actually saying it would be nice if we had a group and we are able to, if one maybe was relentless about throwing in a question, the other person would ask and the other picks it. So we are opening one this January. Okay. Yes.
Lastly, but not of course the least, what kind of advice would you give somebody who wants to venture into your business despite them coming on as a threat or as a competitor on the scene?
I would actually encourage people to start this business, but obviously if and only if you love plants. Without the love for plants and vegetation and nature, it's a difficult business to do because the plants will die on you, and it's a loss on a business note. So it must stem from it being a hobby or just a love for plants, because really the plants need attention, they need your time, they need you to love them and check on them constantly. So I actually have come across situations where I walk into a home and there's zero plants. At first I used to wonder, to say, how are they living? Not even one plant. Like the whole yard has nothing. But then with time, I actually said, probably why they don't have plants, maybe, just maybe, they don't have time. Because others are too busy, others are out of town, out of the country for work and all. But plants need you to be there. They need you to constantly check on them, fertilize them. And I know others have actually even gone into getting artificial plants, which I am anti. Because I say, even when you're giving a plant to a loved one, what would be better? Something that I'll hold on to for years and years, as long as I'm nurturing it, putting a bit of water there, putting a bit of fertilizer there, and saying, this is a gift from my husband, this is a gift from my boyfriend or from my brother. That live plant will be a constant reminder. Like an artificial, you can pick it out anytime. It's plastic. So yeah, I would actually encourage a lot of people to go into it. It's one lucrative business if you put your all to it, except it needs your time and your love, of course.
Thank you so much, Inutu, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, viewers, that is all we had for you on today's program, The Entrepreneur. Today on the program, we were talking to Inutu Mwea, an entrepreneur who has ventured into horticulture, sharing with those that love nature. I'm Sakaboa. Join us next time.